Well, y'all asked for it, and I'm bringing it to you. Another trifle recipe. And this is one of our very favorites. So y'all hang with me, and let's make a beautiful, delicious Christmas strawberry trifle. First thing we want to do for the strawberry trifle is make the custard. And that's pretty easy. It's pretty much like making a custard pie, or if you're making homemade banana pudding or something like that. So we're just going to be making a vanilla custard. That's part of our filling. And I done got, let's see, I put a cup and a half of sugar. I put 5 tablespoons of cornstarch. I've got 2 cups of milk. And I've got 3 egg yolks here. You can put up to 4 egg yolks. It'll just make your custard that much richer. I've got my heat probably about a medium-low. And when I make my custards, I always make sure that I've got a heavy bottom pan. This one here, I got at a flea market. And it does really good making candy custards. So the only other ingredient will be vanilla and a little bit of butter. But I won't put that in until I take this off the heat. Now you can use store-bought vanilla pudding. The instant, you need the large box. Or you can use the cook and serve vanilla pudding, the large box of it, whichever you prefer. But it's just so easy to make your own custard. But once I get this made, I will for sure cool it down completely. And the reason you put so much cornstarch is because you want it to set up pretty good. So our ingredients are pretty simple. It's your custard, and it's your whipped topping or Cool Whip, whichever you prefer to use. Strawberries, you can use fresh that you have cut up and put sugar and let them sit and make their own syrup. Or you can use frozen, cut them up, mush them up, and put a little sugar on, let them make a good syrup. Or you can use the already cut up that's in the little tubs. It's got sugar in them already. Get you a couple tubs of those. And an angel food cake. You can use angel food cake. You can use a homemade dilla cake that you've made, or you can use pound cake. The last trifle I made, I used pound cake. This time I'm going to use angel food. And that's how simple this trifle is. And it looks so pretty in the bowl with all the red strawberries. You want to continue to make sure you keep stirring the custard, because you don't want it to scorch. And you just want it to come up to a good boil. And when it starts to thicken, just keep stirring it. And once it gets to that thickened consistency, then you can take it off the heat and put your butter and your vanilla in. I've got cornbread in the oven. I need to get taken out, I think. Yep. It's good and done. We're having a Christmas party at work this week, and I'm making chicken and dressing. So, that's why I'm making cornbread. My custard's starting to thicken, and what it'll do is it'll thicken up pretty quick once it gets to that stage. You just want to keep stirring it. If I was making a coconut pie, this is the base that I would use for it. I would just add, most of the time I use coconut milk, and then add some coconut to it when I take it off the heat. That coconut milk just gives it just makes that coconut pie just that much. It's just really creamy and really good. And sometimes I use a coconut extract too instead of vanilla, and that'll give your coconut pie a really good taste. Now it's really starting to thicken up, so I'm going to keep an eye on it and keep stirring it. Now when you're making this strawberry trifle, you can also use a cheesecake pudding. They have a Jell-O cheesecake pudding. Or you could even make you a cheesecake base and use the cheesecake filling in place of your pudding filling. That would be good too. So it's about to the point of taking off the fire. And some people, and you know, I used to do it all the time too, because it's what I was taught to do, is to temper your egg yolks. But anymore, I just put my egg yolks in there before my filling starts to heat, and it works just as well. It's really going to thicken up now. And that took about 10 minutes. I don't know if y'all can tell how thick that's getting, but now, if you wanted to make a chocolate pie out of this custard, you would add let's see, anywhere from 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 a cup of baking cocoa. Just depends on how, you know, chocolatey you want your chocolate pie. But if you're going to make chocolate pie, usually I put 2 cups of sugar, because that baking cocoa makes it really, I'm taking it off the heat now. You got to make it sweet enough with that baking cocoa. I'm going to put a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to put about 1/2 stick of salted butter. And I'll probably get a little bit of this out for Mr. Brown, because he loves homemade custard. Let him have some hot pudding. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to let this really cool all the way down. And so you really need to make this ahead of time. And once it gets really all the way cooled, I'm going to put it in another dish, another glass dish, and I'll put it in the refrigerator. Then I'll put a plastic wrap over it to keep it from getting a skin on top. And that right there is part of your trifle filling right there. And it'll be so good. Well, Miss Lori's sitting down on the job. Y'all, I've had a couple people ask me, Miss Lori, you look so tired. Are you tired? And I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. I'm tired. All this Christmas stuff. I'm telling you, at school, before December 1st, right after Thanksgiving, it's been nothing but Christmas. And it's about wore me out. But anyways, I told y'all that I wanted to do some different trifles for Christmas. And what I do, I've only done one. So I'm going to do one right now that is my absolute favorite, and it's because I love strawberries. We're going to do an easy Christmas strawberry trifle. Couldn't be any easier than this, but it's so good. It's just so good. All we got is a few ingredients. We've got our strawberries here. You can use frozen, you can use fresh, whichever. Just make sure that you taste them, and if they're too tart, put you some sugar in there. Sweeten them up a little bit. I've got an Angel Food cake. Now, I'm just going to tell y'all this is store-bought. If I made one, it'd be twice that big, and I probably needed one twice this big. It's ridiculous. You go to get an angel food cake from the store anymore. And used to, they were a lot bigger than this. And I want you to look how little that is. But we're going to make it work. But I've got an old video. In fact, it's one of my first videos making a homemade angel food cake. And it is totally delicious. We've got our custard right here. And we've got our whipped topping. And that's it. And when we get to the end, we may top it off with a little bit of chocolate. We'll see. But the first thing you need, now I found me a trifle bowl. I found this at a flea market for $3. And it's heavy. So, it may not, it's probably not a trifle bowl, but that's what I'm going to use it for. You know, the last time I made trifle, I told y'all that I didn't know where my bowl was. But anyway. So, I'm going to try to make this little bitty angel food cake. This is, when I'm doing this trifle, I like to use angel food cake for it. My other one, we used a pound cake. Y'all remember it. If you haven't seen that one, go back to the playlist. And in fact, I'll just put the link down below this video in the description box. And it was delicious, y'all. It had peaches in it. It was so good. And I know a lot of y'all made it and said it was delicious. While I'm doing this, I want to give a big shout out and a big thanks for everybody that has sent me Christmas cards. I'm trying to get them all put up. I think maybe my next video I'll try to get them all on video so y'all can see the ones that I've gotten so far. I haven't been to the post office in 2 days, so I may have more down there. Okay, that was, I filled the bottom of my trifle bowl just like that. That's one layer. So the next layer is just going to be your sweetened strawberries, and this has got quite a bit of juice, and you do want some juice to soak in to that angel food cake. This does really make a really pretty trifle, y'all. Now I have got pretty close to 48 ounces of strawberries here. Okay. Like I said, get you some juice on there. So we've got our second layer, pretty much. It's our strawberries. This is a pretty big trifle bowl. So the next layer is going to be our custard. You can make your homemade custard like we did a while ago. You can make the instant vanilla pudding, French vanilla. They also have a cheesecake pudding that would be good. But if you ever start making your own custard, it's just absolutely delicious. Y'all know when I make homemade ice cream a lot, I use this recipe, this custard recipe, but I don't thicken it as much. And that's what I use for my homemade ice cream, is my custard recipe. This custard recipe makes your coconut pie, your custard pie. You can add your baking cocoa to it and make a chocolate pie. You can also add soaked raisins to it and make a raisin cream pie. So you just spread that custard around. Now if you're going to make a really big trifle, you need to double this recipe, y'all. And I have done that. When I was feeding a lot of people, for Thanksgiving especially, I would double this recipe. Any of my trifle recipes I would double. Because what I had too was my grandma's punch bowl, and it was pretty big, and that's what I'd make my punch bowl cake in. Okay, our next layer is going to be your whipped topping, or you can use Cool Whip, whichever you prefer. Sometimes it's just handier and easier when you're in, you know, you're either wore out or you're in a hurry to make you a dessert. Whipped topping is my favorite, homemade whipped topping. But if I'm in a pinch, I will use Cool Whip. I'm just human, y'all. I want to thank y'all too. Anybody that sent me gifts, thank you very much. It really blesses our hearts when we get stuff in the mail, whether if it's a letter. You are so kind with your letters, with your gifts, your cards. It just, sometimes me and Danny just read them and we just, sometimes it just brings us to tears. We've got such a loving, kind community. And it just always blesses us so much. So now we're putting another layer of your angel food cake. I also made, oh, it's been a long time ago. I done a video making, it was called a snowball, Christmas snowball dessert. And it's with strawberries and whipped cream and angel food cake and strawberry gelatin, all that good stuff. If I can find that video, I'll put that link down below too. It's delicious. It's a recipe that I remember my Aunt Judy, she always made at Christmas time and brought it. It was one of my favorite desserts. Okay, I think I may make this little angel food cake work. So, there's that layer. Putting more strawberries. And try to get it down the sides where you can kind of see that layer too. Are y'all as tired as I am already? You know, I've kindly cut back this year making so much stuff. Really and truly, y'all, I just haven't had the time. Between work, kids, and grandkids, and just life in general. And I know once I retire, it's going to get so much better. And we've only got 2 more days before Mr. Brown's retirement. So I know he's getting anxious, but it's also kind of scary for him, y'all. And I may do a video and just let him talk to y'all about that. You know, when you've worked all your life, since you were a little boy, bringing in a paycheck to feed your family, and then all of a sudden, you're not going to be, you know, out there working, pulling a paycheck. It's a scary thing. Now, I've tried to reassure him, you know, you're getting retirement and you'll be getting Social Security. We're going to be okay. But y'all, it's scary for a man. It's scary when he's been out there working all his life to provide for his family, and then he just all of a sudden, even though they're looking forward to it and they want to do it. Y'all, I'm just jibber-jabbering. It's taking me a while to get this done, but I hope that's okay with y'all. I know there's a lot of people that are here just for the recipe. Y'all tend to tell me to quit jibber-jabbering and get on with my recipes sometimes, but I can tell you, there's a lot of them here that love to sit down and talk with me too. Y'all know as long as we can, me and Mr. Brown will be here with y'all. I think YouTube's playing a few games with my channel. But they've been good to me, so I don't throw fits about it. They've been very good to me and Mr. Brown. So I'm going to just go ahead, I think, and put the rest of this custard. And like I said, for a bigger one, you do need to double it. But this is just going to a small little get together. So and they're going to be bringing desserts too. So I didn't need to make a huge one. Besides, you know, groceries are so high. So you do what you can. Okay, I'm going to put another dollop of my whipped cream. I don't know that my layers are going to show very good in this bowl, but still going to taste good, huh? I think it will. I think it'll show pretty good. I am going to be making some very easy crock pot candy, and I'll be uploading that video. Some of the easiest candy you'll ever make, and it makes a lot. This year I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on all the different, buying so much stuff to make so much candy and stuff, because, you know, we just don't eat as much of that stuff we're used to. And everybody else is making it too. And it just seems like it gets to the point we've just got so much left over. That angel food cake's sticky. We've been having really, really warm weather here too. We keep the wood cook stove fired up because that's our heat, but we also got the front door open and a couple windows, and that's usually the way it stays, you know, if we're here during the day. Now when we're at work, Danny shuts it down, and when I come in for work, I'll stoke it back up, but then before the night's over, we've got the windows open again. It just, you hate to let your fire go out, but it's just been so, well, it's been between 50 and 60s. And you build you a fire in the house and it gets really hot. But I'm not complaining. How's y'all's weather been? I know Florida got a bunch of rain, and we had a bad tornado in Tennessee, and I'm telling you, December, I have seen some really bad, rough weather in December here in Arkansas. Really have. Okay, we're going to take the rest of our strawberries on top of that cake. Now, y'all, I wouldn't make this. I would only make this the day ahead. I wouldn't do it a couple days because everything tends to get, I don't know, starts going the other way and just gets too soggy and too mushy. So when it comes to a trifle, I really don't like to make it till the day before. Okay. So I'm out of my custard, but that's okay, because we're going to finish it off with our whipped topping or Cool Whip. And this is one of Mr. Brown's favorites too, because he does love strawberries and cake and whipped cream. That's usually something we eat in the summertime, but you know, if you can go and get you some, you may have put up strawberries in the freezer, and that's wonderful. And even, you could even do this with, if you canned your strawberries, like you would different fruits. Some people do that. You can use it. Maybe you made strawberry pie filling or something like that. So that worked out pretty good. And I'll have the recipe down in the description box of how much I used. The custard part, I've got some pretty good thick layers of custard in there, so we're okay on that. I'm not sure the size on this bowl because it don't have the size on it on the bottom. It doesn't have anything on the bottom telling you what size it is. I'm going to try to guess at it. I'm going to say that it may be about, it'd probably hold 5 quarts of water in it maybe. Just by eyeballing it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is because I want to top this with something. And because strawberries and chocolate go so good together, I'm going to go find me a chocolate bar. And I'm going to shave some of that chocolate on top. What do you think about that? And I'll show y'all the layers here in just a minute. I don't know if I can wait till tomorrow to eat this. I have got a milk chocolate. This is a bar that you use to bake with. Just whatever kind you can get. And let's see. I keep German chocolate. I keep semi-sweet, milk chocolate, white, just different kinds of baking chocolates. And I'm not going to take my microphone. I'm going to take my grater. Let me see if this is going to work. Yeah. I didn't want it to come out like powder. So I'm going to use my... It is coming out like powder, ain't it? And I'm just going to kind of dust the top of it. Now you could do this with just powdered cocoa too. Just kind of dust the top. There we go. Yeah, that's good chocolate. And I'm going to take one square and I'm just going to stick it on top like that just for looks. And I wish I had a fresh strawberry, but I don't. Because that would even be better, having strawberry back here and then a piece of chocolate. So there we go. That is another trifle. And that's the one that we really love. It was easy, not very many ingredients. And it's going to be absolutely delicious tomorrow. Well, it's time to get things cleaned up. Get the dishes cleaned up, get the kitchen cleaned up, get everything put up, and get ready to make some candy. That'll be our next video. You'll see it the day after this one probably. We'll make some candy, and we'll go on from there and see what we can do next. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all make this trifle. You're really going to love it. And we just want to tell y'all Merry Christmas. How much we love y'all. We're just going to stay here at the house and enjoy our family. Eat a little bit and enjoy each other's company. Visit with the grandkids. I've got a brand new grandbaby that I haven't seen since she was born, and I'm getting ready. If y'all gonna be traveling over Christmas, I want y'all to be really careful. Be safe. But we're gonna try hard to come back and see y'all in a couple of days, a few times before Christmas gets here.